Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. I would love it if you could say hello. There's my friend Amanda. Hello, Amanda. How are you this evening? Would you like to meet my friend Theodore? I am obsessed with Theodore. He might be the cutest thing ever. Oh, and Amanda, you're my sewing girl. Did you see all the sewing and quilting and fun stuff going on over at Brutuston Row this month? Ugh, how much snow did you get? We got 8 inches. I'm not allowed to go shovel. That's what I have that's what I have man children for and husbands and such. I'm not allowed to shovel. It's not literally like I wish I could be like, I'm just saying that. No, really, I'm really not allowed to shovel. All right. Okay, so show of hands. Who's met my friend Theodore? So Theodore is this adorable mouse. He is featured in, I think, one, two, three stamp sets this month. I would love if he would be featured in more stamp sets because he might be the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. So the stamps that we're going to use tonight, this is the Stamp Club Premium, which I have a subscription to. It's $15 a month and you get a full 4x6 stamp set. This month's stamp is Theodore's Thimble. I have loved every one of the Stamp Club Premium stamps I've gotten. I think they're a really nice size. They're super cute and fun. Really, really like them. But even if you are not subscribed to Stamp Club Premium, you can get the stamp set tonight in the bundle. And the bundle is linked in the description box. So, so cute. Hi, Lou Ann. So nice to see you tonight. We might end up having Facebook Live or YouTube Live or whatever live. We might have gremlins tonight. I'm just warning you all. The trolls might be out because, to be perfectly honest, the Steelers play tonight. My husband is a Steelers fan and he will be trying to stream the football game. Oh. So if I get a little wonky, I'm hopefully not going to, but it could happen. So Amanda, I am not usually into critters either, but he is so cute. And I love the idea that he might come back and be in more stamp sets later on. Like, what if he is, right? You need to have him because then if he does, I don't know, if he should happen to show up again, like you need all the Theodore stamps, right? Right. Okay. Um, yes, it's quite possible that I'm going to be a little glitchy tonight because the Steelers are playing, and that's just how we roll over here, but I'm going to do my best. All right, 4x6 Theodore's Thimble stamp set in tonight's bundle. Quilted Keepsake 6x6 paper collection in tonight's bundle. Here's a look at all the papers. They're gorgeous. I love them. So pretty. And the Mosaic Stitches layering stencil, which we are also going to use tonight. Now, I'm going to show you the finished card for this evening because I want to show you that Theodore can be colored and look different depending on how you color him. So here's the example card for tonight. Look, isn't he adorable? So in this one, he's a little bit of like a gray-brown color. And then for tonight's card, I colored him more of like a beige brown color, but either way, cutest mouse ever. And I'm not a big rodent person. Love him. and I hope that he is going to be my friend for many, 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 many more projects to come. Okay, card base. We're gonna start with our stenciling. So I have a piece of Not Your Mama's cardstock. You could also use alabaster cardstock. You could also use white cardstock, whatever. I mean, white cardstock from your stash. If you have like a little scrap, that's all you need. We're just gonna cut our card for our card front from this. We are also going to use one of these backgrounds. And I think we'll use that one because I want a little bit of different colors all around the edges for tonight's background. Luann says she is the game on. Well, Luann, you know what your job is then, right? Your job is to keep us up on the score. I feel like since the Steelers are playing Monday Night Football tonight and Brutus Monroe is in Pittsburgh and I am close to Pittsburgh, that all of the kind of local people that come and hang out with me Monday nights, they might be scarce. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The reason I'm doing this is because, as many of you know, I don't math so well. So I want to cut all my papers down to the correct sizes before I start stenciling. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And if you look around the edge, that's going to give us all those very nice colors in the background. Then we're going to do our paper. I'm going to cut this to 4 by 5 1/4, but I'm going to preface this by saying, but we are actually going to then trim when we're all done stenciling. If we have edges that look a little wonky, like sometimes when you stencil, you get like, like the edge of the stencil, or we might trim a wee smidge off of this so that we have nice crisp edges for our card. Luann says she can multitask. Good, fabulous. So the best advice for this particular layering stamp, I have a couple of best practices for you. First of all, it's really easy to get this like all crooked and sideways. They are no way marked. So before you start, before you even begin, make sure that your stencils line up to create the correct pattern. See, I even have trouble. Because if one of these stencils is upside down, or one of these stencils is just slightly off, suddenly you don't have the design that you want. So what I did when I created my card is I started by getting this stencil to look the way I wanted it to. So here is how it is going to look. Before you stencil anything, get your stencils in the correct orientation, because I'm telling you, like, there's no like little etching or anything on there. So make sure you get your stencils correctly lined up before you start. And then be very careful that you don't get them unlined up, because you want to make sure. There's only 2 of them. There's not like 20 of them, right? So it's not one of those layering stencils where you have tons and tons of different ones and you got to figure it out. There's just 2. But you have to, but those 2 definitely, like, it will line up perfectly and be amazing. And it's so cool. Like, I absolutely adore this design. It's such a good design. but it definitely, just know that going in. Get your stencils exactly where you need them to be before you start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to line it up. You can see me keep going like this. I'm going to line it up perfectly on one edge. And that's why I said we'll probably take a wee smidge off of this before we put it down on our patterned paper. The reason I'm doing this too is that way when I go to line the second layer of the stencil up, it will line up better because I know, okay, we're lining it up to this long side. If I try to kind of center it in the middle, I may end up with wonky stenciling I don't want. So that's my advice. It doesn't matter which one of these you start with. I decided on a kind of red and aqua design for the background. You could do something really neutral. I think that would be beautiful. You could do something monochromatic instead of contrasting colors. You could do complementary color, it depends. Completely up to you how you do this. And you only need 2 shades. I went into my Simon Hurley Stellar Inks and I grabbed Love Bomb and Clear Skies. It just seemed good to me. I think it started because of the pattern paper. So when I chose the pattern paper, I'm looking at all these colors and I'm like, I like this like red and I like those. So I kind of went with colors that went as close as I could to those 2 right there. Hi, Karen. So nice to see you. Yes, Amanda. I mean, I'm trying here, but I'm with you. If there was a way to mess them up, I would mix them up. Yeah. That's why I gave you all my little tips and tricks at the beginning. These are my tips and tricks for not messing them up. So Love Bomb is this really kind of dark, dark, dark red. This is one of the new ones that Simon Hurley released. So he's been releasing all of the Stellar Inks in batches, which I absolutely love because if you ask me, certain ink collections, certain ink brands are like Pokemon cards and you've got to catch them all. So that's me with the Simon Hurley Stellar Inks and my Catherine Pooler inks. Those are my babies. I love them. And so I need to have them all. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead. This is the first layer. My chair is squeaking. I don't know if that's I don't know if you can hear that or not. Apparently, I've acquired a squeaky desk chair all of a sudden. It literally wasn't squeaking yesterday. Okay, so I'm putting a nice layer of ink over this. I'm always a big fan of like nice, solid, pretty pigmented inking. So I'm gonna pop that off. And we're gonna put this up here. And we're gonna put this up here. And then I'm gonna cheat with a baby wipe to clean off my glass mat so we can go to the next color. Yes. It says, I love that color. I have to order that release after my no spend month. Yeah. I think from like from a budget expense investment kind of thing, it's absolutely best to just buy them as a release, the little releases, instead of thinking, well, I'll wait till they all come out and then I'll just buy all of them. Because you know that's not going to happen. Like if you're anything like me, you're going to get to that point and then you're going to have sticker shock, because that would be a big purchase. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. See how you can immediately see we have our second layer is right there where it needs to be over the first, because it's making the little design. Okay. And then the second color is Clear Skies, which I have to say might be my favorite color. Like from the Simon Hurley ones that are out already. This tealy blue color is beautiful, and I keep using it. So I'm gonna say it's in heavy rotation in my craft room. And it looks just like Skies. Yesterday I posted a reel on my personal accounts using the Up and Away stamp set. And that's the hot air balloon stamp set from last month. And I used this color for the sky in my background, and it was perfect. And how that hot air balloon is still in, oh, that's a problem. No, actually, I think we're okay. How that hot air balloon is still in the shop, I have no clue, because it's so good. The problem with repositionable tape, or, like the mint tape and stuff, is that it's just that repositionable. And so it's going to decide to come loose when I don't want it to. Just adjust it. Okay, we're good now. Whew. Crisis averted. This is like real life scrapbooking over here, or real life card making. It's not perfectly edited. So when the tape gives out and my stencil shifts, you all get to see me fix it. And then we'll go for the big reveal. Ta-da! Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I just love this pattern. And I think it would be super fun. Okay. I know I have a scrapbooker, at least one here, so I'm going to toss this out there. I think it would be really fun to make a couple patterns with this stencil, like a couple different color combinations with this stencil like this, and then take a hexagon die and cut hexagons. Same hexagon, so that this little star piece is in the center of each hexagon, but do it in different colors. And then kind of create your own little pattern on parts of a scrapbook layout. It'd be so cool. I hope you were following me. Understand what I was saying. Where did my little mini trimmer go? Hold on. Just a second. I took my things to scrapbook with some friends this week. Now I haven't 100% unpacked. Hi, Billion. How are you? So just a wee smidge off the end. And then just a wee smidge off this end. And the wee smidges should be about the same. So you still have a nice panel that you can adhere. Ta-da! There we go. Lovely. And look, we're doing okay. We haven't gotten gremlins yet. We're not glitchy. We're good. Then I'm going to go and we have to fussy cut tonight. I got my little mice, my Theodore for this card stamped, and I got my Theodore for this card colored, but I did not get him fussy cut. And then we're going to use this one. So many reasons to smile. That's going to be our sentiment for our card today. So we also have crafted with care and a touch of mischief, which I love. I want to put that on the back of all of my handmade cards from here on out. That's what they're going to say on the back. From my heart to yours, and maybe a little bit of cheese. Even small stitches make a masterpiece. I love that one too. Okay. So we need my little card. Theodore is the cutest thing ever. He's my friend. Have you met my friend Theodore? So if you have any questions about the release or anything at all, now's the time to ask because I have to fussy cut for a little bit. I have to fussy cut Theodore. I had to stop and go make dinner. But since tonight's project is it's not messy. Tonight's project is, it's not messy. I'm not throwing mist around or anything or heat embossing a ton of stuff or anything like that. We'll have a little fussy cutting for this evening. Theodore's the cutest thing ever. I adore him. Very quiet. Someone asked a question. Hi, Heather. Everyone's being quiet, very quiet. And I'm focusing on my fussy cutting so I don't accidentally chop Theodore's head off because that would be super bad. Very quiet. We want all of Theodore to come out of this process. Here, I'll come up closer so you can really watch me fussy cut. I'm probably glitching again. I can see that I am. This is a good time for the gremlins to come and cause issues because it's just me fussy cutting. Well, Amanda asked, for those of you that are watching the replay, what what do you use to color Theodore? And Amanda Heather says if I hack his head off, we should make him a wobbler. um, Amanda, I use Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. That is my coloring medium of choice. Now, I say this all the time too. And I feel like a broken record every time I have to color an image. I say this, but this is truly my thought process when it comes to coloring mediums. Choose what you want to color with, whether that be alcohol markers, whether that be, whatever kind. Um, Pick ones that just feel good in your hand. Pick ones you like. It really, as far as in my experience, it does not matter what, whether you use alcohol or watercolor, whatever. Pick something you like and then stick with it and practice, 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 practice. The trick, if you ask me, to being good at coloring is to know your markers, know your medium, know how your chosen markers work, how they function. And if you know your chosen markers and you practice, 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 you'll get good results. That is my hands down what I think. There's Theodore. Cutest little mouse in the whole world. Um, so yes, that's just, and I really don't think it matters. I think that if you choose your markers, you choose your medium, the other thing I will say is you should in the process of practicing, you should also find a go-to paper that, and then always use the same paper with your medium. And then you will get good results because you will be very, you will be trained with that paper and those markers, and you will know how they go together and how they work with each other. So that's my coloring advice. Yep. Thank you, Penny. He is. He is the cutest thing ever. Yeah, see, Heather uses Derwent pencils and aqua pigments for blending. Like there's no like bad way or no bad. There's a girl whose YouTube channel I used to watch so often, and she used to color, I'm not kidding you, with Crayola markers. It really is just pick what you want to learn how to use and then practice. And then that works nicely with like when we were talking about the inks, because if you choose that one medium and you buy a couple at a time, and you're not switching between brands and switching between markers and all of that, then eventually you'll end up with a really nice full set of markers or coloring mediums that you know how to use. I will now get off of my coloring soapbox. And yes, I'm fussy cutting each one of these little pins, which you wouldn't have to do because I didn't on the other one. But for some reason, I was talking and just went ahead and decided, well, we're going to fussy cut all the pins tonight. I will also say that if you are not me, you should get the SVGs and cut out blanks with a Cricut and then come back and stamp and then color. Um, but I'm me, and I have always tended to be a lover of fussy cutting things. So it doesn't even bother me. And I truly just don't even remember that I can use a Cricut in SVG files. I'm just so totally can. Okie dokie artichoke. So cute. Good little pin cushion. He's adorable. All right, so we're gonna have a little Theodore with his thimble and his little pin cushion. He is ready to sew. And then I'm gonna cut a little strip of white cardstock. Um, this should do nicely. I'm just gonna cut this at 1.5 inches, and then I'm gonna trim it down. Luann says she used colored pencils. Colored pencils are very nice. I kind of went through a colored pencil like tryout. Like I tried them. They didn't stick for me, but I do think they're very nice. Heather's reminding everyone that the bundle comes with the SVGs that I didn't use. But yes, SVGs, use them by all means, unless you're like me and you are crazy and insane and you enjoy the act of cutting things out. But if you're like everybody else, then you would just cut the blanks with your Cricut and then come back and stand. Oh, wow. Heather says, I used to craft with a lady that cut out everything with a knife and a glass mat. That seems tedious. But I bet that she knew exactly how to use. Actually, I can use my stick and stamp mat. Also, if you're new here, I always keep my blending buddy on my stick and stamp mat because I have dogs. So anything to keep dog hair off the stick and stamp mat because dog hairs and stick and stamp mats do not go together well. I'm going to get this as straight as I can, and I think I want to push it over more to the middle because I'm going to, I'm going to go ahead and trim this all down, but I want to give myself space so we can get the little sentiment right where we want it. Okay. honey, I love your comment. She says, I have Derwent pencils, Tim, Tim Holtz Distress watercolor pencils, aqua pigments, and alcohol markers. I do best with the pencils, still hesitant with the alcohol markers, but I do use them. Yep, practice, practice, practice. I have all the things too. I have alcohol markers. I think at some point I have alcohol markers. I have watercolor pencils. I have aqua pigments, which I do use from time to time. But I will say I am the most comfortable personally and get the best results with my zigs. And I contend that that is because of the brush tip and the size. I don't like to hold big things, and I feel like alcohol markers are too chunky for my hands. Like, I don't feel comfortable using them. So that's how I got where I got. I've never used Derwent pencils. I don't even know what they are really. Are they watercolor pencils or like colored pencils? Now I'm intrigued. Right. It's only paper. That's what I say too. Practice, practice, practice. You can always throw it away and come back with another one. So there's our sentiment. I love this font. Like, I love this font so much. It's the best font ever. It's just so good. I would like this font in an alphabet. I would like it in a set of alphabet dies. I would use it always. It's so good. Oh, okay. Derwent are watercolor pencils. I have a whole package. So I have an entire unopened package. They're not Derwent. They're just watercolor pencils. A whole unopened package of watercolor pencils here, and I just never even opened them. Never opened them, never used them. I really probably should. I'd probably enjoy them immensely. Just, I don't know. I think I have to be in a mood one day to like want to sit down and practice and learn something new. Okay. So let's trim this down. And then I'm going to take a bit off of this side, just a slight angle. So it kind of, I call this like a ribbon cut. That's just, it reminds me of the way you would cut like a decorative ribbon. And we're going to put our little guys all together here. Ah, okay. I see. So they're like high quality, which, yeah. Quite often, I do think that when it comes to things like alcohol markers, the watercolor pencils, those types of things, I do think that the adage, that old adage, you get what you pay for, is very appropriate. I do think that with a higher quality, a more artist type quality product, you will probably ultimately like the results better. Okay, last little part. Thank you so much, Heather. Heather says, such a cute card. It is. It's adorable. And my friend Theodore and I, we are going to be creating we're gonna be creating together a lot this month because again, a little bit obsessed. So for example, look, when I stamped out our little Theodore and the little pin cushion and colored him for tonight's project, I also colored the other images on the stamp set, or stamped the other images on the stamp set to color for future projects that will be coming later this month, just because. For the sole reason of because. He's so cute. And I have the other Theodore stamp sets too. In fact, Walter's going to use one of the ones that I adore. It's Theodore all snuggled up in a little quilt. It's so cute. He's going to use that one Wednesday. And it's adorable. So that's my friend Theodore. I hope you enjoyed tonight's projects. Here's the other one. The other thing I will show you very quickly, if you look between the two cards that I made, this one is a little bit popped up. So if you want Theodore to have a little more dimension, he can have a little more dimension. He can be different colors. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. But there you go. Yes, exactly. Heather said you set yourself up for fun. I did set myself up for fun. I was like, if I'm stamping one and coloring one for tonight, I'm stamping the rest and then, as the month goes on, I can color up the rest and make cards out of those too. So there you go. I cannot tell you guys how much I adore this month's release. I adore it so, 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 so much. I have so many ideas for so many projects. I hope I can get to gobs of them this month, but if not, then just know that you could always, head over to my personal YouTube channel or Instagram, and you will be seeing in the next coming months more projects using these because I think they're beautiful and they're like my favorite. This is probably my favorite Brutus Monroe release this year, and they waited till December. Oh well, it happens. Okay. No, 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 no. I'm sure there's been other ones I've loved and bought all of them. All of it, but these are really good. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I will see you again next Monday with a brand new card project. Bye, everybody. Oh, Penny, are we telling people there are more Theodores to come? I wasn't sure if we're allowed to say that. You heard it here first, guys. Penny says my friend Theodore will be back next year. Yes. Oh, yay, 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 yay. Okay, good. So, yes, my friend Theodore will be back. He will be back for more projects coming next year. There you go. Okay, everyone. See you later. Bye. You had me a little scared. I was slightly worried. I'm like, oh no, are we allowed to say he might be back? You're welcome, Luann. All right, everyone. See you later. Bye.